it's an honor to have a guy that's been on my program for a good while, and he's a United States Senator. I personally think he's one of everybody's favorite United States Senator, but he's a United States Senator from Louisiana. His name is John Kennedy. Well, John, we're on another program, but not quite the one you used to be on. So God bless you, man. Thank you for coming to spend a few minutes.
Moon, I'm happy to do it, my friend. I'm just happy, period. I'm out of Washington and back in America here in Louisiana, the gator bite capital of the world, and I'm happy to be home.
Yeah,
we finally got government open.
Yeah, you know what's funny, John? I mentioned this early in the program. I know you're coming from a swamp, but you come into the real swamp.
I'm coming to
you're going from one swamp to another.
This is the good swamp.
Yeah, I hear you. That's right. Well, John, let's talk a little bit about it because I want to go back. John Kennedy, Senator John Kennedy, no disrespect, but I've been knowing him a while. Senator Kennedy, when it started, it was the Chuck Schumer shutdown. And it was Chuck Schumer trying to please the whack jobs on the left side. Then it ended up being health care. Talk a little bit through the process. What is this about? What has it been about? And now where are we today?
Well, look, Senator Schumer, I'm sorry, that's my dog. You want him, Moon, you can have him. Senator Schumer, at least in this particular episode with the shutdown, he put the funk into dysfunction. Here's what was happening. The country was just rocking along 7 weeks ago, minding our own business. The budget was about to run out at midnight. No big deal. We were just going to extend the current budget and keep negotiating. And Schumer comes up and he says, I'm not opening, I'm going to shut the government down unless you give the Democrats $1.5 trillion, and we're going to tell you how to spend it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to reinstate spending like $3 million of taxpayer money for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. We cut that out. They wanted us to put back in $500,000 for electric buses in Rwanda. All kind of spending porn. And we said no. And so he shut it down. And we tried to reason with him. We didn't ask for anything. We didn't ask Senator Schumer to sell a kidney or anything. We just said, just keep government open and we'll continue to negotiate. But clearly, I said this yesterday, Chuck just dug up more snakes than he could kill. And he had to go to a few of his Democratic colleagues and go wink, wink, nod, nod. Please get me out of this. Open government back up. I'll have to cuss you a little bit and vote against it to make it look good. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, let me ask the question, because anytime a deal like this is cut, were there deals cut? Did we have to give in to something? And I'm just curious if you can just answer that just from say, hey, here's some of the stuff we had to give in on. Is there anything, or is it pretty much nothing to it?
No, the only thing that we gave in on that I wouldn't have done in a perfect world, President Trump made he fired some people during the shutdown.
Sure.
And he agreed to reinstate those people, at least for now. And that's the only thing that I'm not sure that I would have agreed to in a perfect world. But that was it. I was watching this bill like a hawk, because I've seen this vampire movie before where they go off in a back room and stick stuff in there. But I can't find a single thing that they snuck in.
Yeah, well, that was important to people that were watching this, Senator, because a lot of times we start making deals and we look up and say, yeah, it was a good deal, but we gave away the house. Here's the big question, because their whole talk.
Can I say one more thing, Moon?
Yes, sir.
My other disappointment, I wanted to include an amendment that said, look, if you choose to go into a shutdown, senators don't get paid. right now, senators get paid. Now, I didn't take my salary, but a bunch of senators did. I'm not judging them, but I wanted an amendment that said during a shutdown, we're treated like everybody else, shared sacrifice. Senators can't get paid. And the Republican leadership wouldn't let me do it. But I'm not giving up. I've got a bill coming up when we come back. But that's my only other disappointment.
Well, why would they? Did they fight you on that? That was pretty simple. Like, hey, we're not going to eat. If nobody else can eat, we're not going to eat. I mean, that.
Oh, it was the usual. It was the usual BS. It's finely tuned, and it might upset somebody in the house, and everybody wants to go home, and it's the same old stuff. And I started not to give in and just say, because I could have blocked them. Here's why I did. They promised me a vote when we get back. And number two, it would have held up the bill for about 4 days.
Okay.
And meanwhile, military's not getting paid. And I said, I can't do that to them.
I get it. Well, Senator John Kennedy, my special guest right here on the Vince Show. Senator, here's the big question, because everything's been talked about with health care and subsidies, and Obamacare failed. It was just a total failure, 100% failure, too expensive. I bet 38% of our debt, I bet you $15 to $20 trillion of our debt of the 38 we have is probably because of Obamacare and the subsidies and everything we've been doing. So my question is, are we going to come back and just hand it back to him again? Because I saw what Jeffries is demanding 3 years in the House now, a 3-year deal. Well, that's pretty good, because if you do 3 more years, it's going to be a single-payer system. So what is the deal with subsidies, Obamacare? Where do you think y'all go with this? What do you think is going to happen with this? And was there a deal to do something with that?
No. And I'm not going to vote for it, I can tell you.
Okay.
Look, here's what we've learned. We knew it anyway, but it was reinforced. Obamacare it's broken.
Yep.
We were promised cheaper insurance premiums and that insurance should be more accessible. It's been neither. We were promised that Obamacare would make our lives better. It's made our lives worse. I'm not going to extend the status quo. That's what my Democratic colleagues want. It'll be putting fresh paint on rotten wood. Now, some other Republicans may vote for it, but you're not talking to one. I'm just not, unless they reform it and design a health care delivery system that looks like somebody designed the damn thing on purpose. I can give you my answer right now. I'm voting no. Short answer, no. Long answer, hell no.
Well, I don't, Senator, I don't think this can be reformed. This was created in a big box, an empty box, and they filled in the blank as we've gone. This thing is a disaster. You can't, John. If I had I drive I drive a F-150 Ford. Okay, and it's a 2017.
I thought you drove a Mercedes. I thought you drove the biggest Mercedes God made.
John, I don't do that because I got to pull that boat when I got that itch to go catch a fish. And you already know I'm not a good fisherman, but I like to go fishing.
You're a lousy fisherman, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but I got a truck that's it's got 170,000 miles, and I like my old truck. It runs good. But if it was running like crap, and always running like crap, it was horrible, it was costing me a bunch of money, I couldn't get it fixed, and it wasn't right, the last thing I'm going to do is put it in the shop and say, let's redo it. What I'll do is get rid of it and go buy me another vehicle. In other words, Obamacare and the way this thing is structured is about 99.9% wrong. You can't fix it. We got to come up with another system. And, of course, that's what they do with Republicans. Y'all tell us what to do, where every time y'all come up with free enterprise systems and free enterprise way of getting this done, they're against it, and it's easy to get the American people against y'all when it comes to health care, and I don't understand that, because look at the disaster that's been caused.
Well, we've got to have a vote before the end of the year on the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare subsidies, Obamacare exchanges. We've appointed 4 Republican senators, Dr. Roger Marshall from Kansas, Dr. Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, Rick Scott, who knows a lot about health care, ran a company, Mike Crapo. And they're supposed to come up with a total revamp of it all. Now, they've got to do that in 2.5 to 3 weeks. I don't know if they can do all of it. But if they don't, I'm not going to vote for just continuing the status quo. I'm not going to vote for the old truck. It's broken down. It's time to buy a new one.
But, you know, Senator, and I'm just being blunt with you. You know how it is. Me and you've had these conversations a lot.
Yep.
But what I think you got to do is things should have been being prepared as much as we could for years trying to get rid of this. And the one time we tried to get rid of it, I hate to say it, he's not with us anymore. John McCain blew that. We could have got rid of it. And so now it's hard to get rid of somebody. I don't understand why it's hard to get rid of bad programs and bad way of spending money. I would never understand that. I don't care if it's at the local, state, or the federal level. When you got a bad program, you get rid of it. You do something totally different. And that's what we need to do with this.
Well, I'll tell you why it's hard, man. Once you create a government program that gives folks money and you try to change it, fresh hell breaks loose. And I'm not putting anybody down. I know all my colleagues in the Senate well, but some of them, if they get 8 phone calls from somebody going, "Don't touch my subsidy," they fold like a cheap tent.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard. That's why it's dangerous to do these subsidies in the first place. Now, Obamacare passed without a single Republican vote. We've got a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
But as I've said before, some of my colleagues on the Republican side are going to have to go to Amazon and buy a spine online, because I know them. I'm not going to get into names, but I can hear them right now. Oh, you know, it'll upset so-and-so. There are 24 million people that, well, that just, it's either right or wrong. And now's our chance to fix it.
But, Senator, last thing, and I'll let you get out of here. When you talk about subsidies, I'm not just talking about subsidies to poor people, middle class. We got a lot of wealthy people that get subsidies they probably don't deserve either. And I think it's a combination of, and I think that $38 trillion debt and growing is going to keep getting bigger till the American people realize this could be a disaster one day. I mean, you talked about it on the program. If somebody quit buying our bonds and quit buying our debt, we're in deep trouble, and that ought to scare everybody.
Well, you're right. I'll leave you with these 2 thoughts. Number one, we got people making $250,000 a year getting health insurance subsidized through Obamacare. And number 2, Moon, I thank you for having me. You're a total baller. I want your audience to know, in addition to being a lousy fisherman, folks, he used to be a great basketball player. The guy was a total baller. He was awesome.
Well, I'll just end it with this, Congressman. You're awful nice. I do appreciate your time. It was on quick notice, and I really appreciate that. So, listen, best of luck to you. And once again, we'll keep our eyes on everything, keep watching, keep challenging you guys, and hopefully we'll get something right. But his name is Senator John Kennedy. John, thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.